Hey friends, welcome to another Amplitude stream. We have quite a few things for you today. First off, I'd like to apologize for the construction noise, as it says above here. They're just building some new apartments over there, and there is nothing we can do about that, so we'll just have to make do today, and we'll just have to be extra sexy for you, I guess, to divert your attention from it. So you might see that this person here is not the person that's sitting next to me usually. This is a new face, so I'm very happy to introduce Cat and Tails, whom you know from our community program, the VIPs, and who is our newest hire. Basically, Cat and Tails, can you tell us what you're going to do with us?
Well, as a community manager, I will of course be trying my best to reach out to the community and help coordinate what the community wants with the dev team, relaying it to them and then relaying back what the plans are as well as I can, I guess. I do want to continue some of the things I tried starting as a community member. Like some of you may have seen the community challenges I posted for Endless Legend and Endless Space 2, and little involvement opportunities like that. I want to keep pushing them, and hopefully build a stronger bond between the community and the studio in general. Oh,
that's good. He's already got the corporate speak down, so that's already one notch on his belt. So very good. I realized that I forgot to introduce myself. I'm your friendly community manager for Squadron, but of course you know me from being here. So yeah, I have a few questions for you, just so that all of us can get acquainted with you. I'm just gonna sit here so I can actually look at you and also kind of see the chat. So yeah, these questions are, could you tell us where you're from?
Well, I'm from Germany, from a pretty small town halfway between Frankfurt and Cologne, so it was luckily within easily reachable distance of Paris for the endless days, but it was not necessarily the greatest of places to grow up with, because it was a little isolated.
I see. So is this the Germany of cheese or the Germany of sausage?
It's kind of on the border between the two.
Well, that sounds like a great place to be.
It is the Germany of hard cider.
Oh, nice. That is very good. That is my favorite, actually. Okay, well, next question, I guess, would be a fairly easy one. Like, what's your favorite Amplitude game, maybe?
My favorite Amplitude game is actually Endless Legend. It's one where I actually followed the development from the very start, because I joined during Endless Space 1, but it had already gotten a bit of momentum at the time I joined, but I was there for all of Endless Legend, and it's just in general I prefer the terrestrial gameplay with continents and seas to the space gameplay a little bit, and the theme and the music was just amazing. Okay,
yeah, of course, that will help. As for myself, if you're asking, well, I would say probably one of the Endless Spaces. I'm not sure which. It really depends on the day, because I'm very, very fond of the Pilgrims as they were in the very first Endless Space, but I guess the new Volters really scratched the itch of an itinerant faction. So yeah, nobody asked me, but I answered it anyway. Moving on to the next question. What's your favorite faction in Endless Legend then?
The Alai, because I really like that bit of a Irish fairy vibe they have with the summer and winter change, like the summer and winter court of the, I'm probably going to butcher that because I don't speak ancient Gaelic, the Seelie.
I have no idea how you pronounce that either, and I lived in Ireland for 4 years, so it's not just you.
Yeah, and I'm a bit biased because the idea I had submitted to the community faction contest myself had been based on the whole summer winter court fairy idea, so
okay, and so that was very close to something
that was very close to something to my heart, and the intro really cemented it when I realized, oh my god, this is actually a poem, because I am a writer by passion.
I was going to say big nerd, but that works as well.
I'm generally a big nerd, but also a writer.
Well, it's safe. You're among friends. Okay, and the last question is, well, you've been here for all of a few days now. What's it like being on the other side?
For me personally, it's very fascinating because I've always been interested in the development of games, but if we're honest, the industry as a whole is very, very secretive about how the sausage is made. And you never hear much about it unless it's a scandal or a specific PR outreach program. So being here and actually learning about production pipelines and QA and everything involved in making games is very fascinating for me.
Okay, well that's good. We're happy to have you with us. You know, back in the day, it was me who was picked from the community to join. So I'm happy that we're extending the hand over to another member of the community. So yeah, that's it for this introduction for now. But I have you with me so that we can discuss the two new content packs that we're releasing today, which are called Celestial Worlds and Harmonic Memories. So for those of you who haven't seen the Steam announcement pop up yet, the first one is very, very intricate quest that will take you to new unique planets and make you meet some of the other members of the Academy, because the only guy we ever hear from in the Academy is basically Yonder. And you might think that, you know, he's not only the guy running the place, but basically the only guy who's living there. That is not true. There's a whole bunch of other people, and you know, some of them actually have very strong ideas about how the place should be run. So I'm very looking forward to trying that out. And also I hear that you will also have the possibility of finding the real birthplace of humans in Endless Space 2. To wit, can you tell us what was the name of the human planet?
It was Mezan, I believe.
Yes,
because
that's
it's
right.
Involved in the UE quest, and I believe with the Vaulters as well, but I'm not sure.
I think it's just mentioned, but yes, that is true. I'm pretty sure JHL, who's going to join us later, didn't even know that. So, you know, that he's good. That's why he's here anyway. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this. We hope you like it. And now moving on to the Harmonic Memories DLC is actually music from what game?
From Endless Space 1?
Exactly. It's 9 tracks that were, you know, among the ones or composed of Flyby I know loved the most. And they're remastered, remixed, reimagined, if you like. And we hope you like them. Also comes with the Harmony Hero that is called FES2 Reflects, or yeah, that was it. Yes, I got it on the first try, 100%. And I think we're actually gonna listen to a small musical extract in a couple of moments. But yeah, first I would just like to give you the very basics. Should maybe have led with that. They're all available for $2.99 on Steam right now. $2.49 if you're one of those people on the other side of the channel and you pay in pounds. Well, anyway, also you have a 10% discount for, I think, until next week, so until next Thursday. So really, I think it's a steal again, especially if you, like me, you're a very, very big fan of the first Endless Space, and you were like, you know what, I think this game needs more music. So check it out, or rather, actually, stay with us so you can hear some of it. Stefan, it was my pleasure to have you on the stream, and we hope to see you again very soon, because that means I'll be free to do some other stuff. So thanks for dropping by. We're going to move to the video, and we'll see you in just a few moments. And welcome back. I was just listening to the music as well on my phone because we don't have sound feedback on this, otherwise we'd hear ourselves and we'd go crazy. You might have seen that I've switched places. Stefan is gone and I have two new people. You guys, can you tell us again who you are?
Hello, I'm Jay Hell on the forums.
I'm Shell on the forums.
And both of them are game designers, and it's just so natural for them that they forgot to say it. Right, so lead designer actually, and just normal designer, I guess,
Yeah.
so average designer.
I'm just a grunt.
Well, you're unique, but it's fine. Right, so you're here to tell us a little bit about the new patch, which is 1.3 point something. Yeah, I forgot the exact
27.
thing. 27, thank you very much. I just wrote it like 3 times on Steam, but you know how it is. This was more important. So yeah, we actually have a few balance changes for the factions, some of which have been long awaited by the community. So could you guys tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure, actually this patch has been a long time in the making. For those of you guys who are in the know, we have been working with the balance mode, the G2G balance mode, with a lot of you to actually make it in the game. So now most of the changes are in the game. So we are just going to go into a quick overview of what we added. Just to get you started, the theme for this mode, we try to have major themes for each balancing mode that we do, and the theme for this mode was faction balance, because a lot of feedback on the forums was going about how the factions are not exactly all balanced. Cravers were way stronger than other factions. So we'll just
I mean, they need some love, right?
The Cravers?
Yeah.
Actually, it's the only ones that we didn't touch, I think.
Okay.
But the other factions are...
So you pushed them up. You didn't nerf anyone. You just
exactly.
made everybody
it's what
more
we try
powerful.
to do. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. I mean, as a reminder, I think our usual creed is more like we don't seek balance at all costs. More like just make sure that everyone's fun to play.
Exactly.
And I think that's still the case. So yay, go us. Hopefully, you guys will tell us. Tell us in the chat. This was awful. I guess you to tell us in the comments in a couple of days. All right, keep going.
So yeah, I was about to give you a quick overview for each faction, what we did and the most important changes. So I wanted to get started with the Lumeris. These guys have been a long time left on the side. So this time we decided to give them a good bump. The idea for the Lumeris was to give them some weapons to be able to manipulate the market more easily. And for example, now they can avoid dust inflation in the game. They have a unique improvement that only them have for now, which allows them to reduce inflation on their empire. So basically it gives them more buying power. They can buy out fleets, they can make more purchases on the market, plenty of stuff like that. They've also gained 2 new faction traits that you can discover in the game. It's also linked to inflation and the market. For the Vodianis, which were also a big subject, we've looked a lot into modes that were made actually. I think it was Atrus mode on the Vodiani changes. We finally unlocked ship designs for them, the arc ship designs.
Everyone will be very happy about this.
It's we took a long time to make this change because we had to make sure that it wasn't breaking the AI actually to have customizable ship designs. The Vodiani had mainly a manpower problem, among other things, and hopefully this is addressed in the mode. They will now generate manpower from life force, which they can leech to other factions. And from the test we had and from the feedback we had, it worked quite well in the game actually. So in any case, if you still feel it's not balanced, you can always tell us on the forums. We're looking forward to making more balanced modes. So anyways, always taking feedback.
Okay, all right. What about you?
Okay, we had still quite a few more changes for other factions. So for instance, the Horatio always had a bit of trouble militarily. Their ships were always on the weak side. So we make them a bit stronger, a bit more flexible by making it so that some of their weapons slots that were only for defense can now also field a weapon. So that should bump them up on that part. Also, a lot of people weren't finding Price of Perfection and Perfect Gene very useful, so we bumped them up, made them a bit less pricey in terms of point whenever you want to make a custom faction. They were pretty pricey. And we added them a few tweaks. to make them a bit more interesting. Also, turns out that making a ratio from any other character is pretty pricey and maybe a bit too much. So we halved the price of what's the name? Genetic Alteration Lab, which took actually way too much time to transform another population into a ratio, and people just couldn't see the use. So that's for a ratio. We also had a few tweaks on the Riftborns, which had another issue, and that is that the Riftborn were supposed to thrive on sterile planets, and a few of our players actually found ways to make them very good on fertile. So we changed a bit the biophobic tray, made it so that it would remove a few population slots on fertile planets and add some on sterile. There are a few improvements that we've added also next to that to grant a few more population slots on fertile planets afterwards. And also we nerfed a tiny bit the empire-wide effect that were on the singularities of the Riftborn. And yeah,
basically, since they could field, now they can field more singularities. Before they were capped at 3. Actually, there was a bug that prevented us from adding more, but now they can finally go back up to 6 singularities. And some of you guys told us that the bonuses were stacking too high now that they could have 6, so they were cut. Yeah.
Okay.
And the next faction is the Hishos. The Hishos is a bit more delicate because it's the last faction we did. It's the last faction that was made. But now we feel that we had enough feedback to make some significant changes. So one of the most important ones is that the observance cannot be stacked anymore. So you can no longer chain kill Hishos to generate an absurd amount of dust. Those poor birds. Anyways. And we also wanted to limit their ability to expand without any penalty. So you will now suffer malus of fields on your home system if you conquer a lot of system above your colonization threshold. So basically, it was a slight nerf to Hishos, to be honest with this.
Yeah, you were saying you were pushing everybody up, but this doesn't sound like you're pushing anything up. Sounds like you're just stomping them down, poor Hisho. I mean, they're my current favorite in the game, so you know. I'm not very keen on those changes, but you know, if it's for the health of the game, I guess we'll make do.
They are still pretty strong, though.
Cool.
We had some minor changes on Unfallen. We didn't want to go too strong on this faction because they are already quite strong in the game, but still the early Unfallen game could be a bit hard, especially
very fragile.
Yes, if you had a hard setup or a difficult generation, it could be very punishing. So what we did is that our programmers managed to make that the vines will now take some time to disappear if you stop vining. So if you had a stack of vine ship entwining a system and some pirates came, before you had to retreat or lose your vine ships, now if you retreat, the vine progress will stay for a few turns before disappearing. So it really helps. And the second change is actually that vining time is now reduced 20%. It makes for a more fluid early game.
Okay, that sounds like a nightmare, but I'm sure Unfallen players will be very happy. That will at least Devil Dog will be happy, I guess. There were some other changes that were not faction-centric, right?
Well, actually, we're still missing one faction.
Yeah, they're still the United Empire.
You finished with the He show, so I was like, okay, we're gone. We're done with the whole list.
Yeah, no, they're still the United Empire, which were tweaked a bit too. Mostly, it's not so much the United Empire that was changed, but its population. A lot of our players were thinking that the Mezzari and the Sheridan were not on an equal footing, and that it was way better, that one was way better than the other. So we reworked the population bonus. They will grant you a tiny bit of influence instead of one of their conditional bonus that they had before. We reworked the population collection bonus of those populations so that, again, they are a bit more equal. And we retouched also a few of the rewards you would get from the quest leading to the change to one population or the other. Okay. So you get those two.
And for the more broad tweaks, The focus was on the factions, so it's slightly. I mean, there are less of it. Still, there was. It could be considered almost an exploit, like the military is super low. That allowed, that gave approval for militarists. Now doesn't count minor factions, so if you want the bonus, you actually have to go to war with major factions.
Aww.
There was still some debate on the forum as if this represents a nerf to cravers or not. I don't think, the cravers can do without this, in my opinion. Yeah. But we can discuss this together on the forums if you guys disagree. There was slight missing number on inflation that didn't pick up on the number of players. This is fixed, and also.
So now we're moving on to fixes.
No, it's still it's still balancing stuff, because on the trading companies we started to tweak the values of the improvements, because the gains are a bit low when you start making the companies. Like, you have to invest a lot of dust to see a return on investment that's interesting. So we're starting to look into this. And the best for the end.
Yeah, there were some changes for the space battle. Once again, actually we reworked the tactics this time. A lot of you were not happy of the fact that there were too many of them in the tech tree, that the early ones were not necessarily the weakest. So we reworked those. You won't start with the same tactics. There isn't that many of them in the tech tree anymore, although if one of your favorites isn't there anymore, it's maybe hidden in a curio at the very least. It's never completely removed. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm really looking forward to some of these early battles now that you've messed up my tactics. I will definitely have some feedback for the balance mod. So yeah, again, just to reiterate on the balance mod for those of you who are just joining us, I know that we have a whole bunch of people on Twitch, but we also are streaming on Steam. So hi to people on Steam. We cannot see what you guys are saying. So if you have some questions for later, try and hop over to twitch.tv/Amplitude Studios. So yeah, the balance mod is basically our way of iterating faster on the balance of the game, and is our chance to try things that maybe we wouldn't dare try in a patch that wouldn't go with that much testing, because we know that you guys have invested a lot of time in learning the game and becoming good at it, so you have very valuable opinions, and which is why if we can have someone from the VIPs or the team post a link to the balance mod on Steam, that would be very nice of you. So which is why we have created a mod that is where we push those changes first to get an idea of what you think about it. And if you guys think that the change is working, then we push it to live, and this is what happens. You get a magic patch with those beautiful gentlemen sitting on the couch next to me, and we can discuss what changes and how Shell is messing up with your starting tactics. So thanks, Syrob, again, for being the fastest person alive, personal robot alive, I guess, and linking to the G2G balance mod. So yeah, there is a small description and a link to the balance mod itself on Steam from that thread. So don't hesitate to hop over. And if you want to get involved, it just starts with the thread saying, I hate this. I hate this because, actually, I hate this is not very useful, but or I love this because, or this was better before, or this could be better if, we're always here, and especially those two guys, and they love nothing more than hearing what you guys think. So, feel free to hop in. And finally, I think if we're done with this, we can move on to the Q&A questions. I saw a question earlier, but it's up in the chat. We may have lost it forever. So if you have any questions for us regarding the balance.
Just wanted to add that we didn't cover it, but there were also a bunch of fixes in the patch.
Yes, of course. As usual, there were fixes. Let's look at this.
I don't think there was anything too big, but they will be in the change.
All right. Well, you can check these either on the forums, Steam forums, or the Games Together forums. So, community-made Parasite faction when? Actually, join us in 2 weeks when we show you a very, very first preview of the hacking feature that will be a huge part of the Espionage DLC coming soon. Coming soon, I guess, soon TM/Valve time. But because we will be announcing, you know, when this closed beta is going to start and everything. So it's going to be a good time, and we think it's going to be very exciting. We've had some very positive feedback from the VIPs, so we're psyched. We are excited to show you guys, I think, and I'm excited to have other people than that guy just try and hack me all the time. Because at some point, you know, oh yes, there is something I'm really excited to mention, and I can't wait. Well, 2 weeks from now you'll have forgotten, but it's so cool. I want to mention it. One of the outcomes you have when you hack somebody's system is you can rename the system. It serves.
It was a suggestion.
Oh no! Are you saying it's not in the game yet? Oh, it's not gonna make it. Oh, that's too bad. I was so hyped, and now I've told everybody, and they're sad as well. Oh, okay. Well, you can't do that. I'm sorry.
Tell us if you like it.
Well, yes. Okay. I guess you could create a thread on the forums and say, JHL, we need this feature. Please make it happen. But yeah, we'll take a look and we'll see what features are actually available by then. And hopefully there's anything good left, because I can't think of anything you guys might want to play really now.
You're killing me a little right now.
I'm messing with you. Right. So. Oh, someone's yes. If you have stories about the modifier, you know, even if it's non-canon, we're always interested, you know, in hearing about it. We have a creation section where everybody can share what they create, you know, be it fan art or some fanfic or anything else. You know, we've had people work on games like actual board games or card games. Stefan actually was sitting here earlier, made the very first Dungeon of the Endless card game a while ago. So yes, by all means, please share.
I saw a question about the percentage of decrease on the Vodiani modules. I believe it was quite significant. I don't remember the exact values right now, but it was pretty significant because you can still stack the modules.
As for the question, does the Unboiled come this year? No, it will not come this year. But you will definitely see some more of it this year, though, because you know, we're pretty open about the way we're developing it. And as we were with the blogs earlier, and those were very successful, so apparently there is a lot of demand for, you know, more info, and people want to see, as Stefan was saying, how the sausage is made. So you know, just expect some insights, which is why, you know, we'll be again in 2 weeks showcasing some of how things work for now. Just because, well, you guys seem to like it, and we're like, let's give the people what they want. Right. Well, do you guys have any questions, maybe?
Actually, there was the one question on the fleet can stack movement modifiers. I don't know if you saw
yeah,
it.
that was the one I had half forgotten. It was basically, are you considering doing anything to combat fleet movement stacking?
It was, do you think it's detrimental to the tactical play on the map?
Exactly the same question.
Okay, it is one of our concern, and we might do something about it, but making a fleet that is so that has so many movement points that it's actually kind of broken also means that you just might have made a very fast how can I say that, cardboard ship. It's not gonna be able to just fight anything, and it's not gonna be very good at anything but going fast. So you made you made something very, very useful for a race, but not so much for invading a system. So it might be something that we change in the future if we really, really believe that this becomes a problem and that it becomes, you know, a dominant strategy or something.
Actually, to be honest, I saw a suggestion on the thread that was about swapping the wormhole and free move technologies, and we might just try that in the next balance mode, because it's interesting.
Okay, well, I look forward to you butchering my way of playing again. It's like you have something personal. Very, very good. Oh boy, someone posted something very long. Let's see. That's not gonna look weird reading this.
Actually, 2 persons.
Yeah, 2 people. Oh, someone wanted to say, congrats on the game. Loved ES1, but ES2 in early access, and got to play recently. Allowed you to space out. Good, we like bad puns. Thank you guys. Well, thanks for sharing. You know, I was going to say this is the only reason we do this. No, we do this because we make a living out of it. But this is a very close second. So again, thanks for sharing the love. We're happy to have you around. And you know, if you want to get more involved with what you're playing and what you're enjoying, you can hop into the balance patch. Well, the balance mod really, and you know, take part in, well, an active part in the development of the game moving forwards. And you guys didn't get enough time to read the second one and tell me what it's about. Well, I'm very disappointed in you. I thought this was I thought it was a team effort. We can read it, but you have to scream so the chat can hear.
It's more a suggestion.
My biggest desire feature is partial automation of Empire because late game. Oh, it's good. Wow, late game is way too slow in multiplayer, but also some control over AI that takes over when you disconnect. Disconnecting is common, and when your AI changes all of your loads and moves your sheep, it can end the game.
But basically, you've highlighted the problem in your questions that this is what we try to do with governors. Like governors have specific tags; they will push things that are specifically tagged in the game data. But the AI has its own way of reason and think, and this is why it's complicated. Like in multiplayer, we have two modes for the AI. If you leave, the AI will take over, and at first it will do nothing except answer to mandatory notifications. But if you leave for more than a few turns, it goes into full AI mode. Actually doing an alternative AI mode that is in between would be very, very costly, and I don't think it's something we can afford to do at this stage of development, sadly.
Okay, wow, that started very well and a bit of a sad note. Okay, fair enough. And then someone was saying that love the hyper-fast fleets to just go and, you know, test people's defenses. That's something you're probably familiar with. And someone was saying, how about you would display faction-wide bonuses from anomalies for the red phones in the text screen. I guess it's always a question of how do you display feedback for anything, because there's a lot of feedback that we have already displayed somewhere in small places, and you know, if you know where to look for it, it's fine, but sometimes you don't. What do you think?
I'm not completely sure what you're referring to, but I think maybe it's the Tower of Time that gives dust per turn that has passed. And I think this is feedback in your system yields. Like if you hover over the dust production, it will tell you this is you produce X amount from the Tower of Time, something of the Riftborn.
Okay. Someone's asking of the Eternal. Will we have more battle interaction in space battle? And the answer, of course, is no. This would be a different game. Although you know, it would be a lie to say that we didn't experiment with other ways of doing space battle in very early stages of Endless Space 2. But this is the one we thought would work the best. If you've played Endless Legend, actually, you might remember that one of the problems with playing this game in multiplayer was that it was always better to play the battles yourself than let the AI control it, because you would get much better results. Because of course you'll always be better than the computer analyzing the battle. And Atto has just done something with his head behind the screen, and it's just stopping me dead in my tracks. It's captivating. And so yeah, people would just stop and play the battles, and then, you know, make the game slow to a crawl for everybody else. That was not very fun. So we had to let it go, which is why there is very little interaction in Endless Space 2, and you front load all the decisions in the design and the tactics. But now the tactics have changed thanks to Shell, so it's like a whole new game, so who knows? And yeah, someone was explaining how the taxi fleets, taxi fleets work. I mean, I have no problem with taxi fleets, but that's probably just because I use and abuse them as well.
Yeah, we've known about taxi fleet, but yet again, you know, it's one support chip that is not going to fill dozens of modules that are going to boost your fleet. So yeah, sure, it's going to make you fast, but it's one strategy like another. As I was saying earlier, we might change it, we might not. It really depends on how broken it all seems in the end.
So yeah, stick around for the next you know, G2G balance mode version. Yeah. And you'll see what actually these guys come up with.
Actually, will it be possible to play the Hishu DLC without the Behemoth? No, because the faction is intrinsically linked to the Behemoth, However, as a spoiler, we've tested internally for the next G2G mode to have an advanced option to play without any super weapons in game. So the option.
So that would be without any obliterators and core crackers?
Yep. Exactly. The option disables just that, so you still get the economic behemoth and the combat behemoth, but the super weapons are disabled basically. We still have some more testing to do, and we hope to push it in the next balance mode. We don't know when.
Okay, so that will be pretty cool, because a lot of people are very scared, not of my Hisho for some reason, but of playing with that expansion activated, because they're afraid of the obliterator. So I'm very looking forward to that as well. I hope it's not just us hyping it and then you come back and you say sorry we couldn't make it happen, because we'll make everybody very sad.
It mostly works. It just needs some more tweaking.
Okay, great. Someone was saying Titans are pretty weak in the fleet. Is that normal? I'm thinking you probably mean the Juggernauts or
the
Behemoth?
He means the Juggernaut.
Probably, yeah. That could
or
be
the simple Behemoth.
Someone was saying that there are questions on YouTube. Guys on YouTube, guys and girls on YouTube, we can't see your questions either on there. So if you want to ask any question, please hop on over to Amplitude Studio, twitch.tv/Amplitude Studios, so that we may actually see your questions. And same goes for Twitch, for Steam, sorry. What's up?
I can maybe read some of the questions on YouTube if you guys want, but
if you see any good ones, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to find some.
Someone that was asking, can you reveal some of the unique planets? Is there a cool new planet in real life around Donut Star? Yeah, we saw that. We're excited. I mean, it's not like we're gonna get there tomorrow, but you know, it seems to be outside the habitable zone. So you know, it's not exactly an ideal vacation place. But hopefully, you know, that just means that space exploration progresses. Let's see, can you maybe
I don't know what I'm doing.
Zoom in? Oh yeah, because Ed over there is not seeing the screen that is turned facing us, so he cannot actually control. Once you know the YouTube comment section has appeared on the screen, he's just lost it. So we can't really zoom in.
Okay.
Oh well, someone was asking, would it be possible to play the Hisho without the Behemoth? Well, that is exactly what we just answered. So apparently very soon.
It's not without the Behemoth, it's just
without the obliterators, so without the ones you like the least, probably. Someone is asking us to get naked. No. Only when there is party, and the party is actually on the Beer Together on the Endless Day, so that is a couple of months from now still, so we'll talk about it more later. But you know, if you want to meet us and have a drink with us, it's a great opportunity to visit the studio as well, and you know, see the developers who make your favorite games. That's hopefully us, because nobody else will be here. So right, other questions? Any hopes for more Endless Legend updates? Well, I mean, maybe. Like, we're not ready to announce anything yet, so if there is anything to announce, really, wow, that way to put my foot in my mouth here. So I would say stay tuned, I guess, for more updates. Oh, someone from Brazil saying, I'm here to thank you guys, I love the game. Well, thanks for playing all the way from Brazil. Tell all your Brazilian friends to play the game as well, so that would become more popular in Brazil, and then we have to go and party over there as well, so we can meet you guys. Oh, someone's asking, will the fantastic new music tracks be available on Spotify anytime soon? Hopefully. I think pretty much all the rest of our music is available on Spotify, so I don't see any reason why not. Actually, that could be because it's on. Yeah, I was going to say because it's a different content pack, but probably the other one already is. So I'll get back to you. I'll check that. Oh, and someone is from Norway and they love Stefan. Well, I mean, we love Stefan and we're from Paris, so yeah, like get in line. Any possibility of activating the opposite faction attitudes in the late game so that there's a big arrow on it? Oh yeah, we're gonna do some blind magic here. No? Yeah, I just can't read that question, sadly. Yeah, basically it's something to boost late game faction, maybe, so that you get into a total war series. Yeah, I'm not gonna go and you know.
I think it's about making the opposing faction AI all gang up on the guy that's on the verge of winning to prevent him from actually doing that. This is something we're not too fond of. It is one of the possibilities we had at some point. but it kind of felt artificial, and it's not very pleasant when everybody, allies included, kind of turns on you just because you've played well. So for now, it's not the way we're going to go.
Okay.
Yeah, we prefer to have the alliances forming in a more organic ways, and from the test we ran, it wasn't uncommon to see two factions emerging in the galaxy, like two big alliances forming.
Very well. I mean, I guess like to some players it wouldn't make sense that they would want the extra challenge, because once you start winning, you know, it's easy to just gobble up the weaker ones and then become unstoppable. But I guess to some extent, a lot of the you know, the direction we're going in is for more verisimilitude in the way the galaxy plays out, and not, you know, providing challenge. At some point, we just go away from the game and move towards the immersion, if that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
All right, sure. Shell is uninvested in that
I mean,
question.
that's the point. That's the idea. It's just, it feels very gamey when the world suddenly turns against you because you've reached a threshold that, you know, make it so that everybody wake up that morning and tell themselves, well, today we're going to screw that guy. It's a bit weird, and that's not something we wanted to do back then.
However, what we saw was some feedback we saw that we would like to do something about is the cheese we have with alliances. Like, you can ally with a player, so he helps you reach your victory condition, and then you leave the alliances to instantly win. We're aware of this problem. We're still considering feasible solutions, so yeah, hopefully in the next.
Someone's asking when ES3 is releasing, and I have to say, probably after Endless Legend 2, Dungeon of the Endless 2, and, well, actually, those are the only two games we have. So, yeah, like, maybe down the line, someone was offering 2022 in the chat. I think it's a bit of a short period. You probably don't know how long games are to make, but, you know, if you add, like, more or less a decade, we'll probably talk about Endless Space 3 by then. I don't know.
Maybe.
It depends, you know? Like, if all these expansions for Endless Space 2 sell so well, maybe we'll make like 12 expansions or something. Right. And someone's Endless Legend 2? Yeah, it's not a thing, guys. Chill. I knew that was people are gonna go crazy, but
this was not announcements.
No, not this time. Not this time around. Or will the espionage be the same as in Endless Legend, or will it be something new? Actually, it will be something very different. Do you guys want to talk about it a little bit? I guess we haven't really revealed much.
No,
but
really.
you could say that, you know, a lot of the espionage in Endless Legend was through spies. And
heroes.
Yeah, spies as heroes use spies, and I guess it was the same as in a lot of other 4Xs, which tend to be very you know, you infiltrate the other city and you lay dormant for a while and then you cause chaos. We've moved away from that a little bit, and I think that the solution that these guys have come up with is not only elegant, also helps put some focus on areas of the game where at some point, well, up to fairly recently, you wouldn't have much reason to go, and also it looks very, very cool. So we're not going to give you the details right now, but again, we're going to be showing that in about 2 weeks from now in a new, you know, Espionage Center stream. So make sure to come back. Yeah, I was going to say follow and subscribe. You cannot subscribe, but you can definitely smash that like button. So yeah, and now I hate myself for saying that.
There is a question about an option to enslave and exterminate population. This was considered when we did the game, but it was postponed, so we still have some plans for this. I'm not sure when, but we still have some plans for this.
Oh, and someone is now asking more questions about spying. Well, I'm sorry, we're just not going to be taking more questions about espionage or anything related to the upcoming expansion, because that will be the focus of another stream. So, but if you have other questions, otherwise we'll just be wrapping this up and letting these people go back to the party, I guess. There is no party right now, but you know, every day is a party at Amplitude, I guess. Yeah, that was lame. Amazing. Right. Yeah, I was going to say, is there any possibility you could scroll down on the chat questions Atto, but I guess that is gonna be very, very difficult. Okay, never mind. Well, let's see if we have one last question. Maybe you guys saw a question earlier that we didn't address.
No, I
well,
think that's it.
Oh wait, I can actually answer this. The problems with the AI in Alliance declaring war for you. Again, we're aware of the problem. We just don't. We have some solutions. We didn't have the time to get them in yet, but we're aware of the problem.
Okay, and one last question from our VIP Mcfried. Will there be more stuff to do with minor factions and their populations, I guess?
Depends on when. For now, no. I mean, oh no, sorry, yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, in the next DLC with spying, actually, yeah, you can do stuff with minor population.
All right, so I guess the last question was a call out to, again, come back in 2 weeks. Have we already talked about Celestial Worlds? We have. Celestial Worlds basically is a massive quest that has, I think, hold on, I have a list here. Actually, the list doesn't have numbers. That is amazing. A whole bunch of different endings. There's a lot of branching pathways. You get new star system improvements. You get to find 2 new unique planets. And basically, you get to meet a whole bunch of characters from the Academy, other than the Academy leader, the Heretic Isildur himself. So yeah, that sounds like if quests and learning more about the lore and looking at the gorgeous arts or artists produce is your thing, we'll get ready for a lot of that, because that's what it's all about. So yeah, that is Celestial Worlds, and it's $2.99, $2.99, €2.99, and £2.49 with a 10% discount for the whole week. Battle Royale mode in ES2, nope, not an option.
An option to turn off overexpansion. I don't think we'll make it an official option, but because you already have a lot of ways in the game to bypass overexpansion, but I'm sure you have some mods in the workshop that allow you to actually disable it.
All right, let's end with a fun one. If you guys had any choice, and I guess the budget of your dreams, which of the minor factions would you turn into a major faction? Not that we're doing that. We're not doing that. But go.
It's a hard one.
Ouch.
You know what? I think I like the religious robot we put with the Hisho. The ones that have decided that the rational explanation to the universe is that there is a god. I mean, it's funny, right?
Okay. What about you? Thinking too much?
Yeah, maybe the Pilgrim, and just visually, I think they're pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, I like the face tattoos as well. And actually, oh no, that is definitely not in Celestial World. That is in something else. But you'll see some more Pilgrims, I guess, at some point, fairly soon. But not as a major faction again. So yeah, thanks again for joining us. That was a pleasure, I guess. No, it was. I'm speaking for myself. I just wasn't sure, which is why I was reaching out to you guys.
Always.
So again, Celestial Worlds and Harmonic Memories are available for a whole week at 10% discounts for $2.99 on Steam, and well, that is the only place we sell them. We'll be back with more streams in 2 weeks to show you some of the upcoming stuff. We hope you're excited. We are, and on this good note, we'll say goodbye, I guess. Say bye now.
Bye,
guys.
Thanks for joining.